So welcome to the part 39 of AWS certified security specialty questions. So these are all practice questions, very important for clearing the certification. So if you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you in your cloud certification journey. So now let us delve into this question. So basically you have two EC2 instances, okay? And these guys are not able to talk to each other, but other people in the same subnet, they are able to talk. So it's like you are in a room and you and your buddy are not able to talk to each other, but others are able to talk to each other in the same room, in the same subnet. Okay. So one thing, we in such scenarios we think that, oh, okay, maybe the security groups have a problem, because a lot of time if you don't set up the groups correctly, people cannot talk. So but then the question says that, hey, that is not a problem. You see this line, they say that is not a problem. Now you have to troubleshoot it. Okay, as a security guy, you got to troubleshoot it. So from a security standpoint, consider your apartment complex. An unknown person tries to get in, he would be denied. So A is saying that, let us, hey guys, let us check the security groups, both inbound and outbound, and look for deny rules. When people have told you that there are proper allow rules, then why will you take this step? This is already covered in the question. They have allow rules. Then the next stuff they say is, okay guys, we know that security groups is all set, but what about network ACL rules? Maybe there are deny rules there. So one thing I would want you to um, remember is the network ACL rules. They operate at subnet level. Okay, so they operate at subnet level. But then you will say, hey, buddy, what about security rules? Don't they operate at subnet levels? No, they operate at instance level. For example, EC2, you have two boxes. So these guys will operate at EC2 instance level. This is what the security groups do. Okay. So if you are saying I will look for deny rules in at the subnet level, because network ACLs work at subnet level, then what are you basically doing is, um, so if there is a deny rule, okay, so if deny rule was there, then the subnets, the other resources, like there is a line that other hosts in the same subnet are able to communicate. This would not happen if there were deny rules, because whatever rules are there, it will not only apply to these two EC2 instances, it will apply to other hosts also. So if other hosts are able to talk, that means this is not a problem. Now D says that, hey guys, let's use X-ray, because you are supposed to troubleshoot. So these guys say that you use X-ray just like the doctor. If you have a pain in your hand, so they say, okay, let's take an X-ray. So do we have an X-ray here? Yes, just like the medical profession, we have a service called AWS X-ray, and you can debug things. So the thing is, these guys operate at app level. Okay, looking at the question, it is pretty evident that this troubleshoot has to be done at network level. First, you have got to go to the network level, then the app level. So this service is a app level service. We don't want to debug app as of now. So this looks wrong. So I'll use the right color here. This is wrong. Now C says that, hey guys, let's look, because you are troubleshooting, right? So you have to go to some sort of logs, not the app log, not the monitoring log. You have to look at the network monitoring log, network monitoring. Where, what is it? VPC flow logs. So this is about networks, okay? And what does the flow log capture? All the information about IP traffic from and to the network interfaces in your VPC. And you can configure these to save the logs in Amazon S3. So normally in real life, what we try to do is go to these logs in S3 and then scan through it, or use Athena to write queries on top of these logs. And this would be our first troubleshooting mechanism. So option C is correct, where we would review the rejected packet reason code in the logs. We will need to see the code and the reason to understand what is wrong. Okay, suppose you have some problem and your body had a log, and they say, okay, last time the heartbeat went down or the pulse went down to 60. If there was such a log, then the doctor can just visit these logs and see, okay, these and these data points are correlated. Maybe this is causing a problem. So unfortunately, bodies, they don't have logs, but that is what we are trying to digitize using a smartwatch or a health watch, that some basic parameters can always be on a watch. So if you're looking for examples, so this is how it appears in the logs. You might have a rejected source. The packet was rejected because source IP address is not within the VPC. These are some examples I have posted here so that you get some clarity of what kind of reasons gets logged. So you may pause this and read it. So now let us move to the next question. So in this question, this tiny little blue box, this is your EC2 instance. And what you are supposed to do is analyze the performance and utilization for anomalies. So this guy blue box here, you want to make sure the performance and the utilization data looks apt. And you are supposed to do the log aggregation. That means you must collect logs from all AWS accounts in a centralized location to perform the analysis. That means you may have, you see this, this is your EC2 instance, this is your RDS database, and this is your Redshift database, and each one of them have their own logging mechanism. What we are saying is, hey buddy, let all the logs flow at one place here. There's let everything flow here. So what happens is I have a central repository of all the logs. So how can this be achieved? So see option A, whichever option says I will log in 4 times a day, 5 times a day, that is a wrong option. That is an illogical option. Any solution or anyone in your life tells you to do certain things these many times a day, it is illogical. Think about logic. Why only 4 times? Why not 8 times? Why not 12 times? How did this 4 times, this figure 4, come into existence? The second problem here is this CloudTrail. CloudTrail is a user activity log. What you did when you logged in, what did you mess up there? what did you access, so this is a documentation. Okay, you can read this, but what the focus is actions taken by a user, role, or AWS service. So that means it's an activity. It will not tell you what is the CPU utilization of EC2 instance. It is not for these uh, activities or these metrics. Option B here, what they are saying here is you set up CloudWatch. CloudWatch is used for monitoring the metrics. So it is a observability tool from AWS. So what it does is it keeps monitoring your AWS, as well as you can extend it to on-premises for your hybrid cloud solutions where you have both on-prem and AWS. Or it also works in a multi-cloud strategy where you have, suppose, Azure Cloud, Google Cloud, and AWS Cloud. So you have multiple cloud platforms. You can set up watch across these cloud platforms using AWS CloudWatch. So it's so powerful. Now, why we do that? Imagine this is just like your watchman who keeps a watch on certain metrics, like when this guy came in, when this guy checked out, and what was the duration of stay, and so on. So this guy will CloudWatch will just keep an eye on uh, what was your CPU utilization, when did it cross threshold of say 70%, and um, is the storage getting full, and so on. So option B is saying that CloudWatch, we will stream that data to S3. Okay, and we will store that data in S3 bucket in each account, and then you would set up a bucket replication. So that means you will store it in S3 in each account here. Suppose imagine these are three different accounts, and then you would centralize this and get it replicated here. And once you have it here, you will, like, this is where your security engineer's account is set up, and this guy can plug a BI tool or Athena on top of it and do some analysis. Okay, so this solution may work, but is there a better solution to this? So right now we will park this for now, and we will look for better solution, because this solution has too many hops. First we get the data inside each account's S3, then we set up the replication. So the real time or the near real time flavor would be lost in this case. So let's look if we can get a better. Now you might say why I'm looking for a near real time solution, because you see here the question here says so. So option B, it cannot be a near real time solution. It can be a batch, like you run it every 4 hours, 6 hours, those kind of stuff. Now option C is saying that I will use config aggregator to collect the configuration data from multiple sources. So many people may say, hey, I see the word aggregation here, I see the word aggregator here, and this is my answer. No, this aggregation is looking for log aggregation. Here we are looking for configuration aggregation. AWS config, what it does, it monitors the configuration changes of your resources. Suppose you have to audit when did we change the configuration to accept a multi-account strategy. You can look into AWS configuration logs, and you can assess it. But configuration is a different solution. Here we want, our problem statement says we want to deal with logs. Configuration, not configuration logs. These are performance logs. Okay, these are utilization logs, metrics. So this is purely a CloudWatch problem. So D is a better solution. What would D do is they are telling that, hey guys, I will set up a cross account log data sharing in CloudWatch. Is this feature available? Yes, CloudWatch has this. You don't have to set up CloudWatch in each account. You can set it up for cross account log data sharing. So everything comes into a subscription that is there in a centralized account, and it hits Kinesis data firehose. So why data firehose? Kinesis, the moment I see near real time, I would want to plug a Kinesis here. Kinesis is for real time or near real time. That is point one. From Kinesis, I can put the destination of Kinesis as S3 buckets, and on S3 I can do my analysis because I stored my data now for long term. I can keep analyzing it. So Kinesis, like I told, the moment you see real time data streams, this is what you should do. And Kinesis as a product, it has various sub products like video streams, data firehose, data analytics, so on. So here we are talking about plugging a data firehose, which will load the real-time streams into data lakes. Data lakes ultimately they use or leverage S3 buckets, and you can plug any sort of analytic services like QuickSight, Athena, and make sense out of it. And hence option D would be my final answer, where we say that we would plug CloudWatch cross account log data sharing and then send the logs to Kinesis data firehose. Kinesis, because we are talking near real time here, and then implicitly I'm telling you, we in real life I plug S3 to firehose as a destination. I take all the data from these streams, and then I plug a quick site on top of it. This is how we do in the real life. So now let us look at this next one, where we are talking about, there has been multiple compromises uh, of this EC2 instances. That means suppose there were multiple EC2 instances, these yellow boxes, and they got compromised. Now what security officer is saying is that the memory dumps of compromised instances must be captured for further analysis. So what they are trying to do is forensics. So one thing you should remember as a security analyst or a consultant, running forensics is one part of your job as well. And in order to run forensics, you should be well aware from where to get the evidences. The questions gives you one evidence where they say that, hey, let's capture this dump for further analysis. And then the security engineer just received EC2 abuse report. So you can read this portion if you want to understand anything about abuse reporting. And what does the report say? They say that, hey buddy, your EC2 instances running the most recent Windows AMI is compromised. So it specifically says that this instance is compromised. Why? Because they have it in the data that the instance with Windows 2019. So with Windows 2019, AMI is compromised. Now, how should you collect a memory dump for forensics? Because this guy is saying you should mandate that this guy is mandating that your memory dumps of compromised instances. That means this instance is memory dump. So you should take the MD, that is your memory dump. How would you do that? Now, option A says that, hey guys, I will not do it. I will give it to AWS support for analysis. But um, I mean, giving it to support for analysis is kind of fine. But how would you collect the dump? And that also you're saying that I will give a consent, just consent to the security team. You are the security engineer, right? Whom are you going to give the consent, man? You only have to do it. So this solution looks a bit illogical. And then B says that we will review the memory dump data from systems manager agent sent to CloudWatch logs. See, the problem with B is that you will have to use these two services, that is Systems Manager and CloudWatch Logs. What if you are not using it? So this becomes a bit of a overkill. Just for this process, you will have to spend more on two services. Uh, D says that I will reboot the server, enter safe mode, and select the memory dump. So this will not work because the better option here is you download and run EC2 Rescue. So Rescue will help you with, especially for this purpose, it is born to help you investigate compromises by malicious code or data. And this is what you should use to collect your memory dumps because you are doing forensics. This is a utility which is meant to extract and collect data for this forensic purpose. Hence option C, download and run EC2 Rescue for Windows Server utility from AWS is the right answer. If you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with a lot of cloud-based certifications. There are a lot of content on around this certification in the paid area. So you can become a cloud ninja member and gain access to these contents for this specialty. For specialty certifications, you should take Cloud Ninja membership because that has all specialty related stuff. This brings us to the end of part 39. We covered almost 12 concepts. There were like 4 options for each question, so we covered almost 12 different concepts. Very important to understand and attack the questions. We understood how to weed out the wrong options and select the right answer. I hope you found this helpful and interesting. See you in the next part.